to be a concert, but I promise that I will do my best to fill it with something that at least will be my effort to please you. So I really hope that you will enjoy this. It will be something for every taste, I hope, from the softest music to the more dramatic and even scary. I think that these stories that we hear when we attend TED Talks, we try to frame our talks like stories, try to make it a story. But for me, the way I began to play the organ is really a story, very trivial but very real. I have a sister. She's 3 years younger than I am, and one evening my parents were away and I was to babysit my sister, and the only thing that we had to spend the time in front of was the television. And back in those days, in the 70s, we had 3 channels. It was Norway and it was the 2 Swedish channels. And the program on the Norwegian television was so boring that we were swapping. So of course no remote, so we had to walk back and forth. So probably I spent a longer time swapping between the channels than I normally would have done. So that could be what makes me sit on this bench now and you sit down, that there was no remote control, because we came into an old black and white film about a couple walking around in an Italian town, an old man with a pregnant young girl. And this old man, he had this vision that if the girl was exposed to beautiful art, then the child would be beautiful. And they entered a church, of course, and in it sat a bald man. I thought that he must have been a monk, but now that I'm bald myself, I see that there are options here. He was playing on the organ, and immediately I knew I had to do just that. Of course, I didn't foresee that I would do it professionally, but I just had to play. You may notice that I did something with my right hand during the playing. I was pulling out one of the stops. I was altering the sound. I had the flute, which is a single pipe per key. But then I added something called the quint here, and there is a number underneath it, and the lower that number is, the higher it is in pitch. So and this is how we manipulate the sound on the organ. So what we'll do now, we're going to explore the interiors of the organ. We're going to find those big pipes and try to see what they look like. So Sigbjørn and I will now enter into the Holy of Holies. When I press a key on the console, the force that pushes on that key is transferred through a thin veneer like this. So when I push a key, then this is pulled and it's all mechanical. It's an engineering masterpiece. And what you see up here is the cage for the bird, the thing that makes it possible for me to adjust the sound of the same pipe, because the pipe has only one sound, but if I open and close this, then the change will be softer or louder. The way organ music is printed is that we have three staves. We have the upper and lower key, the G key and the F key here, but also at the bottom we have another stave with the pedals. So you see here we have two notes in the pedal, which means that I'm going to use both my feet here, which is that is not very difficult. But if we turn some pages, here we have Mozart has trills in the pedal, and the trill is going parallel with the trill in the left hand, and that torture, does it several times.